Once again, very good morning, all. Thanks being joining over the session. Okay, so from today onwards, we are going to start completely next couple of sessions completely on Azure, and we are going to cover advanced level performance tuning because it's been a different journey now. Whatever you've seen since 30 days, okay, so that is something different now. Whatever we are seeing here from today onwards is something different because it's a new product. Yeah, it's been a Microsoft product only, but it's been a new product to us, new enhancement where you are doing over the cloud when we go for cloud. So before I go into the slides, okay, let me see what we are going to discuss in next 30 days completely. Okay, so that it will make some sense for everyone. Okay, so what been we are discussing in next 30 days, so completely. Okay, before I go here, okay, see. So as you already know, so we are being the Microsoft SQL Server engineers, where where we are going to discuss about certifications. So we have lot many certifications are available in market. So when you go for on-premises, when you go for cloud, okay, in cloud also we have lot many. But what certification will make our user friendly, like which suits our technology means DP300. So the DP300 is the administrator relational database on Microsoft Azure. So if you wanted to do the certification over the cloud, okay, DP300 will suit for us. So the basic certification is AZ900 is the basic fundamental Azure fundamental certification. That is also we are eligible, where we are going to discuss a couple of service which or belongs to the AZ900, and so completely we are going to discuss about the DP 300 when we go for Azure level. So you are comfortable, and also we are going to provide the dumps for DP 300 if you wanted to prepare the dumps and you are good ready to the DP 300 certification. Fine, everyone.
Fine, sir.
Okay. Yes. Yep. Okay. And so completely this whole package where we are going to discuss is Microsoft SQL Server DBA, Azure SQL, along with the Google Cloud, and you will get opportunity to learn for the advanced level, advanced performance tuning. So especially, sir, why we are going to discuss a Google Cloud. So yes, being we are a Microsoft engineers, in on premises, so definitely they will ask you the cross technologies, like do you have experience on MySQL or PostgreSQL, like same when you go to the cloud also they will ask the cloud platforms. Okay, any multi cloud platform knowledge. So Azure, Google Cloud, AWS is the leading cloud providers throughout the global. So almost all the cloud platforms are the same. If you are good at Azure, almost you are good at Google Cloud, almost you are good at the AWS as well. But only the dashboards will be different. Okay, mainly the dashboards will be different. The services, so which are going to offered by Azure and which are going to offered by AWS, which are going to offered by Google Cloud, maybe slight minor differences, but almost all the platforms are the same. So when you go for any cloud provider, so first we are going to start with Azure SQL. So completely about the infrastructure. First, we are going to cover here. We are going to discuss two platforms: IaaS, a PaaS, infrastructure as a service, a platform as a service. So, in infrastructure as a service, we are going to discuss what is first, what is the base of cloud computing, what is history and evaluation of the data centers. Okay, so infrastructure, so how to deploy, what is the difference between IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, and what are the service deployment models are available, that we are going to discuss. And we are going to discuss about how to deploy virtual machines, how to deploy virtual networks, and what is the storage account. Since we are a SQL database administrator, so why we need to learn virtual machines, virtual networks, and Azure storage account? Because see, as we need to build the clusters. So earlier we are going to build the completely cluster over configuring the virtual station VMware, or Oracle VirtualBox or hypervisor. So instead of again, if you wanted to perform in your laptop, okay, definitely you need to increase your RAM capacity to 12 GB to build the clusters, to build the always on. So it's very difficult to us due to this pandemic. Okay, we are going to build the completely clusters over always on in the Azure platform. So always on with load balancers. So not a regular setup, it's a something advanced level setup. So where you are going to configure complete your Azure always on over the load balancers. And as been, we are going to discuss about completely SQL database. So what is how to deploy the SQL database, what is the service tiers, how to take the backups, how to perform the restores, what type of retentions, and how to protect your protect our SQL databases. Like in on-premises, you are going to grant the permissions, right? So we have the server roles, we have the database roles. Okay, in Active Directory, you can create the logins and you can map into the SQL. Like same here also, when you go for Azure also, we are going to secure our databases by granting the right permissions. But when you go for PaaS environment, especially when you go for PaaS environment, it won't support Windows authentications. So either you need to come up with a new concept called Azure Active Directory authentications. So something different we are going to discuss. Under the security, we are going to discuss about the Azure Key Vault. Is one of the feature whenever you wanted to encrypt your data. So in on-premises, we have the TDE, transparent data encryption. So whenever you are going to encrypt the data, you need to store your encryption keys, right? So that keys in Azure, where Microsoft is provided a separate service called Azure Key Vault. So we are going to discuss what is Azure Key Vault, how to store our keys in Azure Key Vault, how to download the keys from the Azure Key Vault. We are going to discuss and how to enable TD in Azure, how to enable the dynamic data masking. So these three concepts will cover over the security part. And so Elastic Pools, Elastic Queries, Elastic Jobs, and one of the finest feature is high availability. So when you go for high availability, so we are going to discuss the Geo application and failover groups. So Geo application is a asynchronous replica. So don't get confused. It is not a replication. It is also like a working with high availability. It's not like a regular hour application where you are going to transfer the data and database objects, right? Not exactly. It's something different. Geo application. But failure groups is nothing but a subset of your always on, how your always on will works. Okay, so same how you will work with failure groups. If you don't know anything about always on to configure, okay, you can configure failure groups within minutes. Within minutes to configure normal on premises failover group, always on availability group, you may take 3 to 4 hours, right, from the scratch level. But when you go for failure groups, you can create a failure groups within a minute. So backend Microsoft is doing everything for you, behalf of you. And one of the major concept everyone is waiting, how to migrate your data from on premises to cloud. So whatever databases, whatever services we are using in on premises, so now it's time to upgrade to different platform over the cloud. Okay, so we are going to see import export, backpack, backpack. Okay, how to migrate the DMDB database. That is a one database where we can create using Microsoft Microsoft product. Okay, and using DMA, and one of the finest feature is DMS. So database migration service, both offline and online migration, offline migration and online migration, and monitoring and tuning. So as we are a database administrator, you need to start monitoring your databases, and you need to start tuning whenever if something goes wrong. If application team is coming, okay, and they're telling, hey, my database performance is slow. I am not running any queries. I am getting timeout issue. In that scenario, how you will monitor, how you will configure alerts, how to tune your queries. That is also we are going to discuss as part of in Azure. Okay, so completely. So this is we are going to discuss in Azure session. So any questions? Anyone?
It's like
No, sir.
Azure Database Administrator. So this course.
Sorry.
So this course design as like Azure Database Administrator, right? Like you can go for Azure.
Yes, completely. So till now we discussed about on-premises SQL, right? How to install on-premises SQL, how to work. Okay, same thing we are replacing in cloud. In cloud, again, I'm telling like two deployments. One is IaaS, one is PaaS. IaaS is almost similar. You already familiar with IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Okay, so mostly we are concentrating on the PaaS platforms. It's something different. So because we don't have access to the infrastructure, right? So how to deploy SQL, how to access that is what we are going to discuss in PaaS. So IaaS, we are going to discuss how to deploy the clusters, how to deploy the SQL on clusters. Everything we are discussing in Azure, right? So that is IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Any question, Sohel?
So Azure
Yes.
DBA actually works on these topics, right? Normally in real life.
These are all the topics will belongs to Azure SQL DB. But
Other
you
than
should
this,
know
there is not much, right? Like actually.
lot. No, lot.
Okay.
I will explain you. Lot many. So here you can extend your technical stuff. Okay. So when you go for on-premises also, there are three services. When you go for BA, Business Intelligence Tool, what are the three services? Integration service, analysis service, reporting services, right? So here also you can start you can start enhancing your technical skills when you go for BA tools. Like here we can call it as Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Bricks, Azure Synapse Analytics, one of the finest feature now, finest database now. So that level also you have a lot of services where you can enhance. So we'll discuss once we connect to the portal. I will just review what are the services. Next, you can go through once you are so strong at our SQL first. Okay.
Okay.
And when you go for GCP, Google Cloud Platform, so why we are specially only discussing on GCP, why we are not going to discuss in AWS? Okay, so almost all the same platform, same cloud platform, same services, almost same services. The naming will be different, sir. In Azure, you are calling it as a virtual machine. Okay, so in AWS, you will call it as a EC2 instance. In GCP, you will call it as a VM deployment. In Azure, you are calling it as a storage accounts. In AWS, you will call it as a S3 buckets. In GCP, you will call it as a storage buckets. So the naming will be different, but almost everything is the same. Okay, same level of deployments. If you are familiar with one okay cloud provider, you are almost familiar with the other cloud providers as well. The concept is same again. The deployments is same, but the simple is dashboards will be different. See, when you connect to the Amazon, when you connect to the Flipkart, okay, when you connect to the Flipkart or when you connect to the Amazon, is there anything you are strange is seeing the behavior? So almost both are the e-commerce applications, right? Where you can buy the product, where you can track the product, where you can change the product, you can update your product, right? Where you can cancel your product. The products will be different, but the concept is same. Like same, almost all the cloud providers are almost similar. But when you specially go for Azure, we have lot many services where you can enhance. Okay, any
Okay, sir.
questions? Shiva, Naresh, Nagaraju, Maheshwar,
No, sir.
yeah, Chaitanya, Ganesh. Okay, now everyone is eagerly waiting for, see, as we are a database administrator, not only installing the SQL Server, okay, configuring log shipping, configuring mirroring, configuring always on or clustering. You should be okay part of tuning. So tuning is the one of the key responsibility for every database administrator. It's not depending on the experience. So how we are strong at tuning part. Okay, so that can be CPU, that can be memory, that can be IO or timeouts or query or entire applications of a performance is slow. So how you will start tuning the queries? So your application team will come up with multiple questions. Assume today you have fixed one issue. Again, tomorrow they will come up. Today you fix one database. Again, tomorrow they are coming with a different database. Again, day after tomorrow they are coming with a different query. So every time you are getting a okay performance related issues. So that can be application, that can be SQL, that can be database, that can be query or CPU or memory or IO, multiple, sir. Okay, multiple. So how comfortable you are under tuning. So from where I need to start the tuning whenever I see there is a high CPU utilization. See, when you open Task Manager, so we have the resources: CPU, memory, disk, network. We have different resources. So sometimes CPU will be high, utilization is high. Sometimes memory utilization is high. Sometimes disk is latency is very bad. Okay, sometimes network bandwidth is too slow. Okay, where to start the performance tuning? Whether I need to start from the Windows level or I need to start from the SQL level. If my application team is coming, see, assume you wanted to book a flight or you wanted to book something, okay, a ticket for something, okay. So in case you connected to that website, it is being too slow. What you will do? You can go to the another platform, right? See, we have lot many website, social media websites where you can go and book your flight tickets. So in case one website is too slow, make my trip is very slow. You can go for Goibibo. If that is also true, we can go for Vigo. So we have lot many sites, right, where you can go and book your flight tickets. So we are losing one customer because of my site is slow. So whenever your application is slow, whenever SQL is slow, assume you are trying to retrieve a bank statement. Whenever you can connect to the ICICI or Citibank or HDFC, and you wanted to retrieve the bank statement, if it is being slow, what you will do? Okay, you will shut down, you will close the session. Again, you will come up with tomorrow. So every time it is being slow whenever you are trying to retrieve the bank statement or credit card statement. Then you will first fed up with this okay. So organization like ICICI Bank or Citibank, and then you can choose some other. So that is what the tuning, sir. So tuning means not only a SQL level, okay, that will be come up with your hardware as well. You need to see the CPU, you need to see the memory, you need to see the disk, you need to see the networks. So whenever you start tuning, then when you go for CPU, again, too much of concept like how many sockets it is, how many cores, how many logical processors, how the NUMA is configured, all will this comes into the picture when you go for hardware level. So where to start? Okay, so how to troubleshoot? So see, there is no max, there is no permanent fix for anything, sir. Every time your application team is keep on coming up with a different kind of issues. So where you need to fix rather than regular work. Don't compare with regular works when you are starting tuning. Tuning is something different. Every time you will see a different issues because every request is something different. Every application is something different. So every application they will design their for their environment actually. Okay, so how you are going to start the tuning, how you are going to fix. So that is what we are going to discuss in the complete this 30-day session. Okay. Any questions before I? Yeah. Yes or
Hello.
no?
Hi, Subbu.
Hi.
Chaitanya here.
Ganesh. Yeah. Yes, Chaitanya. One by one. Okay.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay.
So as a SQL DBA, do we need to learn any DevOps in, especially as Azure?
That is yes. When you go for DevOps, is also help you a lot. Okay. Okay. Now, how it will help you? You will have one question mark. Okay. How DevOps will comes into the SQL? See, you can make automation, sir. We have four tools, configuration tools. So when you go for DevOps, once again, let me show you. Just one. Okay, please be mute. Please be mute once again. So this is what the DevOps means. DevOps is not a technology; it is a combination of tools. Don't call it as a technology. It is not a technology at all. DevOps is not a technology. It is a combination of tools. What is the tools? What it is exactly mean? Continuous deployment. Okay, sorry. Continuous deployment, continuous monitoring, continuous integration. So that make a sense of the DevOps are actually. We have a lot of tools where you need to know about the DevOps when you go for DevOps. Maybe definitely you can see Splunk as a monitoring tool. Okay, you already know SCOM is a monitoring tool. Like Splunk also you will see. Okay, is a monitoring tool. And when you go for configuration tools like Puppet, Chef, Ansible, Saltac, okay, you can use any one of these tools to make the automation. If you wanted to install your SQL Server, you can use the Puppet. So earlier we used the Puppet to install the SQL Server. Okay, you can use the Puppet or you can use Ansible. You can use Chef. Chef is a old tool, no one is using. Ansible, Puppet, Saltac. Okay, Saltac Ansible is completely working with SSH encryption key, and the Puppet is like agent. So here it will help you, sir. Not entire DevOps, but couple of tools will help you. Is being you are a SQL DBA, like a Puppet or Ansible will works, or you can use a GitHub, sir. GitHub Bitbucket, because this is a central repositories where you can keep all your code. So instead of you wanted to keep your documents, okay, SharePoint links and
Version
your
control.
KB articles, you can keep in the GitHub. Getting? Not getting? Chaitanya?
Right. So good. I understand for automation in terms of either monitoring, either for version control, either for
Yes.
containerization, either for setting up your environment. So lot many different things you're saying for different purposes. So using DevOps or automation.
Yes. We have one session where I'm going to explain how DevOps will well works, because nowadays everyone going for Agile methodology. So even you are a SQL database administrator. Now we are going for Agile methodology. So in Agile methodology is something different. Definitely everyone will caught, because there will be you need to write the user stories. Okay, so the terminology will change. So in regular, where we are calling it as a team members and team lead and the project manager, right? But when you go for Agile methodology, the terminology will changes. You need to call it as a product owner. You need to call it as a scrum master. You need to call it as a team members only, but every member there will be one task, every task that will be 100%. So this part we are going to cover in ideal process, no worries. So where I will explain you how Agile methodology will works in a SQL as a SQL part as well. Okay, not okay.
Okay.
Any
Hello, Sai.
some? Yes, not Sai Subbu. Okay,
Ah,
this
yeah,
is
Subbu.
Subbu. I'm
Okay.
the trainer. Okay, yeah.
Okay, Subbu. Okay. In SQL, we have HA concepts, right? DR and HA, some of mirroring, log shipping, and clustering, always on replication. In Azure SQL, you told only the geo replication and another one is there, na? So remaining
Payload group.
concepts is not there in Azure SQL.
No, that is also you can configure, sir. By default, from graphical user interface, we have directly instead of see if you wanted to configure always on availability group. So you need to build
Okay.
the clusters. On top of the cluster, you need to build a standalone SQL. On top of standalone SQL, you need to enable the always on availability feature, and you need to configure all this, right? Assume
Okay.
you are coming from Oracle, not from SQL, sir. You are coming from
Okay.
Oracle, and you got opportunity to deploy see, to deploy uh, 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 okay, always on over the PaaS environment. So you can directly go
Okay.
and deploy because Payload Groups is very friendly with a couple of steps. No need to do all this. For behalf of you, Microsoft is doing everything for you.
Okay.
That will make sense. If you non-domain also you are so comfortable to configure always on availability group using like a subset Payload Groups.
Okay. Subset of fellow groups. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you
Thank
can
you.
configure everything. Log shipping you can configure, mirroring you can configure, and replication you can
With using
configure.
Win.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That is the only my thing. That is, if we are using Azure SQL database, if nothing is there, how we can do the mirroring and etc. HDR concept like that. If now I
Yeah,
am clear.
yeah. No, it's like a user friendly when you go for PaaS environment. Okay, so when you go for IaaS
Okay.
again, same cinema, sir. How you are working in on premises, you will work in IaaS, infrastructure as a
Okay.
service.
Okay.
It's
Nothing will
like
be changed.
completely someone else data center where you are placing data when you go for
Oh,
IaaS.
yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so as part of today, if you don't have any questions, let me go for slides now. We'll start our discussion. Okay, so any questions before I start? Okay.
So I have last question.
Yes.
Uh, so is DevOps engineer works with the SQL DBA on automation things, or is the
Yes,
tasks are
yes,
being separated
they will
from DevOps
they will
engineer?
design, yeah, they will design the code in Puppet or Ansible. Okay, then later we can work it. Okay, if you are getting a chance, definitely that will help you a lot. Okay, so like a Puppet or Ansible, mostly these two tools will use to configuration. So mostly, but we are not directly getting a chance. So DevOps engineer will work with their tools. Okay, and once the configuration part is completed, then we can start working. Means, so assume you got one opportunity to install the SQL server. So if you are using Puppet, if you are using Puppet, so in Puppet there will be you need to update some configuration on one server. So that technically, so once you connect to the server, so there will be a file will be created. Okay, Puppet dot file will be created. That file you need to go and change what SQL Server version, what SQL Server edition, what features you need to install. Just by changing these three parameters, if you restart the Puppet agent, automatically it will start copying. It will start installing your SQL within span of 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. Any questions still? Good. Verma, you are asking something?
No, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Jairam, Kaushik, Iqbal, Anil, everyone so silent. Again, for couple of days, it will be something new. Iqbal, Venkat, okay. Venkat, Sohel, Anil, Maheshwar, Ramesh, okay. Just is something again new platform, okay. Because currently the industry is looking for cloud, okay. So So we are also learning how the cloud platform is working. So why industry is looking for cloud. Okay, so what kind of deployment models, what kind of service models are available. Okay, so what are the services Microsoft is offering. We are going to discuss everything, sir. Okay. Yep. If no questions, okay, let me. This is the first module where we are going to discuss a complete intro about your cloud computing. Complete intro about your cloud computing. Now, so why talk about Azure SQL database? So, for example, this is the only one slide I added. Okay, so because most of the people having knowledge on SQL Server, right? Why I need to go for cloud? As a personal journey, sir, it's a personal journey. Okay, as a classic infrastructure DBA, assume you are a classic infrastructure DBA. Moving to the cloud technology means it's a new product. It's been a new product, okay, to understand. So definitely it may take some time to digest. Okay, so because it's been new services, it's been new role. Okay, so when you go for the cloud, and at the core of it, okay, Azure SQL database is the one of the flavor. Okay, not only Azure SQL database, where Microsoft came up with on February 10 2010 2010, okay, 2010, where Microsoft start implementing the Azure. Okay, so they came up with one flavor called Azure SQL database. Then later Microsoft is keep on enhancing, okay, its flavors. Now we are able to see Azure synonyms, we are able to see Azure Elastic Pools, we are able to see service tiers, performance tiers, a lot many, sir. Okay, Microsoft came up with one flavor called Azure SQL database. Okay, the worldwide public cloud services market is projected to grow 17.5% in 2019. The total is 214 billion dollars, where all the cloud providers, where Microsoft is earning. Okay, and it's been, see, in 2018 it's been like $182. Now it's been increased within one year. It's been increased a lot. So now currently industry looking for cloud. So that is the one reason we are going to learn here. We are going to hear, we are you are here actually to learn something new, a different flavors, a different platform, a different product. But the concept is same. But no worries, the concept is same. But again, it's new journey. Okay, for you next couple of days. So how to deploy SQL over the cloud. So how to take the backups, restore, secure your data. What kind of services? What a different role again. A different role again, sir. When you go for completely cloud. So there is a plus side I wanted to explain you. So now, before cloud computing introduced, okay, before cloud computing introduced, suppose you wanted to host a website. Suppose you wanted to host a website. So what are the following things you majorly considered, sir? Except Venkatesh, Sudhakar, Naveen. What are the major things you will consider? Online people? Assume you wanted
First,
to host a website. What are the major things you will consider? Anyone?
first we should have SSL certificate to host your application.
No, don't go for in detail, okay? We'll go for high level. Just high
Uptime,
level. Not
uptime, SLA.
again I'm telling, don't go for core concepts, okay? Go for just high level. What are the things you required to host a application?
Domain space.
Domain.
Okay, nearby. Can I say a stack of servers?
Yes.
Can I say a stack of servers, sir? First, you require
Hosting
servers,
service.
right? If you wanted to host a website or if you wanted to host a application, you wanted to purchase a stack of servers first. Okay, first you need to purchase a stack of servers. Next,
Is the domain.
okay, again don't go for core. Okay, next, monitoring and maintaining servers. You need to monitor the servers. You need to maintain the servers, right? Online people, are you with me?
Right.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Yes or no? So once you purchase a stack of servers, you need to monitor the servers. You need to maintain the servers. Then, last but not least, what is very important? Maintain the
Traffic.
high traffic. So, it's simple. Okay, in US there will be Black Day. Okay, in India every 3 months or every 1 month or every on festival season, your Amazon, Flipkart sales will start. Will you accept or not? So whenever there is a sales time, definitely your connectivity, your traffic will be very huge. So they need to increase the server capacity to maintain to balance the connectivity. Assume after sales days will be only 2 days, 3 days, 5 days. After sales date, where you will keep all the servers again? Yes or no? Assume you go for Flipkart, you go for Amazon sales. Okay, sales will be 5 days, 3 days, right? So regularly, so on regularly 10,000 connections will be established over your application. On sales time, there will be 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs connections will be available. So to balance the connections, to balance the traffic, you are going to purchase the servers. You are going to purchase the servers. After sales time, again your connections rapidly will reduce to the 10,000. So where you will keep all this server, whatever you purchase. So these are all a bit challenging. Okay, before cloud computing introduced. Yes or no? Will you agree? Online people?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, how we overcome, sir, this? Okay, let me go one by one step. Okay. See, if you already seen these slides, okay, who someone bored, okay, just bear for some time. Okay, let me again recap everything. Okay, so we started the innovation with the data center. Okay, so data center can be ugly, center can be good. So whatever the two images you are seeing on the top, whatever the two images you are seeing on the top is the good data centers. Whatever the images you are seeing on the bottom, it is very ugly data centers, right? In previous like 10 to 15 years back, this is how your data centers they are going to manage. Getting or not? Online people?
Yeah, I'm getting it. They're getting.
Okay, this is two data centers in bottom two data centers. This is how you are meeting. Assume, sir, something. If a rat went to the data center and if a rat hit one wire, due to this, okay, due to this, your server performance is slow. Can you tell to your application, hey, due to this rat bite one wire, okay, due to that, your application performance is slow? It's very silly, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how the innovations are, how the market is innovated from one level to another level. Okay, so now we are maintaining a neat and clean data centers. When you go to the office also, definitely you verify. Okay, anywhere in your building there will be one data center will be there. Anyone got opportunity to go into the data center?
No.
Anyone? Yeah, so
Yes.
definitely if you got opportunity you can go and verify within your flat or in your premises there will be one data centers will be there. Okay, so this is how it will looks like your data centers when you go inside. Okay, that is the first innovation, sir. Data centers is nothing but, see, you are able to see the rack, right? So technically you need to call it as a rack. Each rack will maintain common power supply, common network. Okay, each rack will maintain a common power supply, common network. So every rack will have multiple servers. Each server will maintain the common power supply and common networks. So multiple racks. Okay. So out of this data center, we are not sure how many servers you are going to maintain, as we are a SQL database administrator. In one project, there will be couple of technologies where they are going to support Java, .NET, SAP, DevOps, okay, blah 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 tools. So each technology is having their own servers as we are maintaining our SQL servers, right? Okay. So I used to maintain earlier, I used to maintain 4,000 servers, 4,500 servers, only SQL, then go for Oracle, then go for total we are maintain entire my project maintain around 1,50,000 servers. Out of 1,50,000 servers, our SQL servers are 5,000 servers. The rest are will be different technologies, sir. Okay, all your data centers looks like this, where they are going to build the servers. So you are simply accessing. Okay, not okay.
Okay, it's fine.
Okay. Now, now it's very challenging to maintain the data center, sir, because you need to maintain the power management, you need to plan the capacity, you need to maintain the storage, you need to maintain the performance, and you also need to maintain the monitor. So what are the big challenges you will see to maintain all these data centers? Power management, capacity management, storage management, okay, performance management, and monitoring. All is under your control. You need to take responsibility everything. Hey, not means you not, okay. So storage team, okay, Windows team, server team, okay, network team. So we have separate teams, right? So each team need to take responsibility to make sure that okay, technology should be good. That means that level of maintenance we need to done. That is a one of the challenging we are see when you wanted to maintain a data center. It is not easy, sir. It is the toughest challenge. Now, next innovation is high availability. How you are going to maintain your services to run with 24 by 7, 365 days. See, whenever you can open Google, whenever you can open Facebook, or whenever you are opening anything, so every time it is trying to open, sir, how they are going to maintain the service. Recently, like you know or you don't know, uh, two 1 to 2 months back itself, your Google is down for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Your YouTube was also down for 5 minutes. Anyone noticed recently? Entire Google is down for five
Yes.
minutes.
Yes, yes, yes. We know that.
Yeah. So how you are going to maintain? How you are going to maintain the services? That means in case if something happened, in case if something happened, okay, to my one server, automatically another server will take responsibility. High availability within the same data center, you are going to maintain the high availability, sir. Means if something happened to one server, automatically another server will take responsibility. If something happened to that server, another server will take responsibility. Okay, then to maintain the high availability also, you need to take more sir, power, network, storage, backups, reports, everything you need to taken care. This is our again our responsibility. Now, if something happened to my data center, assume I have a data center in Houston, assume I have a data center in Houston, assume I have a data center in Bangalore. Okay, so my primary is in Houston, my secondary is in Bangalore, because again the next innovation came is disaster recovery. Who are staying in India? You know about recently we have the Chennai floods, Kerala floods. Yes or no? Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is disaster recovery, sir. Assume your data center is in Kerala, your data center is in Chennai, then gone, na? Okay, so how you are going to maintain the disaster recovery at the data center level? If something happened to the data center level, okay, how you are going to see data center designs includes the routers, switches, firewall, storage system servers, and application delivery controls. Data disaster recovery is a well through process to purchase powerful computers and make them work as a single computing resources at different location. To maintain the disaster recovery, we are going to maintain in two different locations. Assume one location is Bangalore, one location in Chennai. If something happened to Bangalore, okay, I can bring my servers online to in Chennai, which is available. If you are not maintaining, okay, DR purpose, if something happened primary, then go on, enter your application is down. entire your application is down. So that is the next level of innovation. Okay, data centers, to maintain the data centers, what are the challenges? High availability, what are the challenges? Next, disaster recovery. To make a disaster recovery means if something happened to the data center level, we can bring back another DR server. Okay, not okay, sir?
Okay.
Now, virtualization. Anyone knows what is virtualization?
Yeah, so it's a emulation of a computer. So we could call it as it's a
Okay, so virtualization is a very simple concept, sir. Most of the people about how VMware virtual machine, VMware is working, how hypervisor is working, how Oracle VirtualBox is working, right? So what exactly you are doing, right? So you are going to purchase a, a powerful computer. You are going to purchase a powerful computer with, okay, with 80 core processors, with 200 GB of RAM, 500 GB of RAM. You are going to purchase a powerful computer. On that powerful computer, okay, you are going to hypervise. You are going to hypervise with using anyone like Oracle VirtualBox or VMware software, okay, or hypervisor. And when you go for Windows, there is a hypervisor, okay, using Hyperview, using Oracle VirtualBox, using virtual session, okay. You can going to build the computers. On top of your computers, you are going to build the computers, as many as, okay. So and you are going to use a different operating system. Each virtual machine will have the different operating system. Each virtual machine have different applications. Each virtual machines have different operating system. Each virtual machine have different operating system and different applications. So this is the next level, sir. Once you purchase the a powerful computer, on top of powerful computer, you are going to configure the virtual machines. When you go to the real world, almost, okay, 70 to 80% your servers are in virtual servers, not a physical server, sir. Okay, almost 70 to 80% are virtual servers. When you are working with the performance tuning, especially, sir, when you are working with the performance tuning, assume you have development environment, you have test environment, you have production environment. Okay, in case your test and development is working very good, but your production is having some issue, so both are same configuration. Your development, your test, and your production are both configured. Both are maintaining same configuration, same level of data, same level of hardware. But still, you are noticing the performance issue on production box. In that cases, you can ask your Windows team, hey, where is my production box is available? On which top of VM it is available? You can check that physical server as well. Okay, that physical server will also impact this VMware, sir, this virtual machine. Not only in the same server, we are deep on digging, we are not getting much, but it may also affect if something happened to this physical hardware. Yes or no? Will you accept or not? Online people?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Not only our servers are, wherever your server is, wherever this virtual box is hosted, maybe that physical box also will impact our virtual machine performance. Okay, if everything is running smooth here, then you can also check with your Windows team. Hey, where is my virtual box is hosted? Can you just validate that physical box, how the performance is? Okay, because we are not sure, right, how many servers we placed in this physical box, what kind of storage level we are using. Either we are using HDD or we are using SSD. Okay, not okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now, data centers in shipping containers. You can ship, okay, your data centers. You can ship your data centers are using containers, okay. How your uh, fixed containers, right? So where you cannot change on over the land, that you cannot shift, right? Okay, but shipping containers you can ship to any location, sir. But security will be available, performance will be maintained, everything will maintain, sir. So this is also one innovation where we see that shipping containers, your data centers over the shipping containers. Okay, not okay?
Okay, sir.
Yes. And let me I wanted to show you one video, okay, before I go here. Uh, okay, please let me know once everyone able to listen.
The overarching goal of Project Navy is to evaluate the feasibility of underwater data centers. Phase one was just to be able to figure out, can we get
Everyone able to hear the
Okay.
voice?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
into a container and can we deploy them in the water without it leaking, and do the computers survive, and how well do they last? Phase two was to show that we can make it in a manufacturable production scale component. So the container behind me, it fits on a trailer, it fits on a cargo ship, and it allows us to actually build up this data center to any size that we want. Scorpio is a great place for this partnership because they've got renewable energy for 100% and more of their grid power. Computers are not designed to work in the environment that we humans operate. So things like oxygen, moisture in the air, that is really bad for computers.
Sure. What they are telling? Oxygen is good for human beings. Oxygen is not good for computers. Getting my point? Oxygen will impact your servers. Okay, your failures, increase your failures if you have too much of oxygen for the servers. Oxygen is good for human beings, not for your servers.
It causes corrosion on the components. You also get temperature fluctuations. So the heat from night to day and summer to winter can cause those components to fail. And so we have this theory that if we're in a really stable environment, we're in this cylinder, we've taken all the oxygen out, we've controlled the humidity, no one's walking around, there's nobody bumping things or causing any additional failures, that we see better reliability. And so far as we've been monitoring this and the data center that we have on land that are using the same components, we see 1/8 the failure rate.
Yeah, see, whatever the data centers over the land, whatever the data centers over the water, okay, under the sea, under the water, okay, the failures is reduced 1/8% is reduced. Okay, so how much failures you are able to see over the land data centers whenever you are placing the same data center under the sea, 1/8% of failure is reduced, because under the sea we will get less oxygen level. Okay, so over the land there will be too much of oxygen, that is not so good for your computers. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Ocean data than we do on land. So we've got some good data on reliability. We've proven out that we can do this whole deployment process. Now let's finish the story and let's show that we can do the retrieval and we can do the recycling once it does reach end of life, and make sure that that entire cycle is possible. This project gives us the ability to feel like we're working not just on computers, not just on data centers, but on sort of moving forward environmental responsibility as a company and as individuals. I mean, everybody uses the cloud. Everybody needs data centers. This need isn't going to go away. We're going to continue to build larger data centers and use more electricity because the demand is there and the demand keeps growing. How can we do it that's better for the environment and that's just better for us as a people?
Okay. Yeah. Back to slides. Okay. So now, yeah, before going to this, okay, everyone is clear. Any questions till now? What is the innovation still now where we are standing currently? Okay, everyone simply we are so going to the office and connecting to servers and just working. So back end there are lot many things, sir. Okay, back end lot many things. So next couple of days what we are going to see is, okay, how Windows team is working, how network team is working, how storage team is working, how what kind of storages are available in the market. So next couple of sessions we are going to discuss same thing. Okay, so you can become much stronger when you go for cloud platform. But become confusing concept because it's new for you, definitely. Okay, but definitely please bear some time. Okay, definitely you will learn something new. Okay, so not only SQL, there are lot many things. Any questions still now before I go to the cloud computing part intro?
No, sir.
Anyone? Anil, Sohel is so silent today. Maheshwar, Kausik, Shiva, Yadav, Iqbal, listening very silently.
No, sir.
Okay, okay, no problem. Yeah, if no questions, then go to them. Then, what is cloud computing? So we discussed a lot. Okay, lot many slides. Okay, what is cloud computing? First of all, as a simple definition, sir, it is not a much. Okay, see, a cloud computing is a delivering of on-demand compute services from application to storage, and the processing. Okay, power typically over the internet and on a pay-as-you-go basis. Okay, so nothing on-demand compute services they are going to provide over the internet. So not only products. Till now you are purchasing products, right? So what are the products? Mobile, groceries, okay, smartphones, mobiles, okay, laptops, okay. You are purchasing from e-commerce applications, right? Like same, your cloud providers is also providing the compute services like virtual machines, storage, network, okay, lot many services, sir. On demand computer service they are going to provide over the internet. Like one more example for your understanding, a cloud compute enables the companies to consume a compute resources such as servers, storage, or an application as a utility like a water or electricity bill. How you are paying water bill, how you are paying electricity bill. See, for your simple understanding, sir, when you go for Ola or when you go for Uber, okay, what you will do, you whenever you wanted to travel from one your place to some other place, okay, you will book Ola or you will book the Uber, and you will pay only how many hours you are going to use, right? Or you are paying for entire day. How you are paying, sir? Like same, your compute services also same. Okay, how much you are using, you need to pay only for that. They won't charge any a single additional rupee as well. How much you are in, you need to pay, rather than having to building and maintaining compute infrastructure. You no need to maintain any infrastructure, you no need to maintain any building, nothing, sir. Everything your cloud provider will maintain. Just you can use and you can pay how much you are using based on your capacity, based on your resources. So they will charge the amount for you. They will charge amount for you. Okay, the companies offering these compute services are called as a cloud providers. Sir, you know about the internet providers, right? In your place, in your region, okay. So some internet providers are available in India, mostly BSNL, Airtel, Reliance, okay, Geo is the internet providers. Like same, okay, who are providing the cloud. So technically we are calling it as a cloud providers. When you go for cloud providers, Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, Alibaba Cloud, IBM Cloud, okay, we have lot many, sir. We have lot many. but these 3 and 4 are the topmost cloud providers. Okay, cloud providers. Clear? Not clear? What is cloud computing?
Clear, sir.
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Now, when you go to the cloud computing, sir, so majorly we look into the deployment models. Majorly we look into deployment models. Public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud. Mostly, whenever you are searching any Google or something, social media blogs, okay, mostly what are the cloud provider deployment models? You will get common 3: public, private, hybrid clouds. Public, private, hybrid clouds, sir. So before I go and discuss, okay, very simple answer for the cloud computing, sir. What is nothing but someone else data center where you are placing your data. Someone else data center. When you go for on premises, within our premises you are keeping our data centers, our storage, our network, everything, and we are placing within our premises only, which is all, everything is controlled by us. When you go for cloud, someone else data center where we are placing our data. That can be Azure, that can be AWS, that nothing, sir. Infrastructure, you no need to maintain infrastructure. You no need to maintain servers. You no need to maintain network. You no need to maintain storage. You no need to maintain power. Nothing. Everything will be maintained by your cloud provider. Just you need to pay for your service. How long you are going to use? What is the your service resources consumptions? Okay, you need to pay. Clear? Got it? Cloud is nothing but someone else data center you are placing your data. A massive data centers, sir, throughout the global. Okay, throughout the global where Microsoft is going to maintain 60 data centers. Microsoft is going to maintain 60 data centers. I will show you. We'll look into that part as well. Okay. So now, when you go for deployment models, we have three, majorly three, sir. Okay, we have a lot. We are going to discuss that as well. A public, a private, hybrid cloud. So first, let me discuss what is private cloud, what is public cloud, what is hybrid cloud. Then I can go for rest of the deployment models. What are the deployment models are available? So when you go for private cloud, is nothing but your on premises or how your on premises working, right? Your on premises technically you can call it as a private clouds. How your on premises working, like same. So private cloud will also work. So private cloud is nothing but a single tenant, sir. One tenant will be available, one owner will be available, meaning organizations using the tenant means. So mostly so assume you are going for IBM, you are going for Infosys, or you are going for TCS, or you are going for some other companies. Okay, your companies will maintain their own private clouds. No one can access that services, no one can access that resources which are part of in the private cloud, because your private cloud is more secure with highly firewalls, sir. Getting my point, online people? So private clouds are nothing but almost similar with your on premises, sir. More secure, more firewalls. See, a private cloud is a data center set up managing by the organization, keeping its secure content. Very secured, sir. Okay, but bit costly. When you go for private cloud, it's costly, sir, because you will design your own firewalls, you will design your own security policies, you will design your own firewalls, you will design your own security policies. So private cloud can be expensive with typically moderated economics or say scale. When you compare with the public cloud, a private cloud are bit expensive, sir, when you go for private cloud. Getting? Okay, mostly we won't prefer private clouds for medium scale application, small scale applications, sir. Better go for public cloud to reduce the cost. Assume, sir, simple. Okay, every organization will maintain three kind of cloud deployments: private, public, and and hybrid cloud. Sir, your project is a assume your project take your project as a Citibank. So take your project as a Citibank. When you go for Citibank, we have lot many applications, right? Lot many applications, right? What is lot many applications? So what is lot many applications, sir? So take car loan, house loan, home loan, personal loan, insurances. When you go for insurance, health insurance, okay, accidental insurance, each application, we have different applications. Each application they are going to maintain different policies, different servers, different environments. Your project is Citibank, but your applications are different. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now we are not sure which application is under private, which application in the public, which application in hybrid. Your application team will decide, okay, this is my, so assume you are going to, you thought that, okay, I need to design one application. I need to design one app in Android. I need to design one app in iOS. Or I need to design one app in both Android and iOS. Then all this will start, sir. Okay? Not okay? Where I need to deploy. So what is the price? How many servers? What is capacity? All will this comes into the picture when you start from the application level. Got you? Okay. Okay. So private clouds are driven to the concern around the securities and the complaints and keeping assets within the firewalls. Within the firewalls, where we are going to keep our servers in the private cloud. That is one thing. So when you go for public cloud, so Gmail is public cloud. Your Teams is public cloud. You know, online people, you know about your Gmail is public cloud. Your Teams is public cloud. You can directly downloading the Teams and you are connecting the Teams and you are working. So where your history is storing, sir, where your login details is storing. Even go to the Gmail. Once you create the Gmail account, by default, Microsoft is providing 10 GB for you. Yes or no? So completely it is in public cloud. How Microsoft is maintaining every Gmail account? Microsoft is going to create 15 GB, I believe, free. Freely you can store up to 15 GB. So how Microsoft is one every one, at least they will maintain one or two accounts. How Microsoft is maintaining that massive storage? Huh? So that I am going to show you in the coming sessions, sir. So there is a service called Azure Service Fabric. Okay, using Azure Service Fabric, where Microsoft is going to maintain all this orchestration. Okay, micro containers, microservices. So that is how Microsoft is going to maintain all this. We'll discuss, sir, no worries. Okay, so public cloud, when you go for email, when you go for, okay, music is also public cloud, sir. When you go for music, okay, so collaboration, emails, HR, webs, all will come to the public cloud. Whatever you are trying to access, everything will be public cloud, but your data will be in private cloud only. No worries, your data will be protected. Your data will be protected. A service provider makes resources such as application storage available in the general public over the internet. Public over the internet. A public clouds will provide the best economic of the scaling or the inexpensive to set up the, because of hardware, software, application, and the bandwidth cost. When you compare with the private cloud, the public cloud is bit low expensive. No waste of resource because you are paying for what you are going to use. So when you go for public cloud, whatever you are going to use, you are going to pay only for that. You no need to pay any additional charges. Got you? Online people? Clear? Not clear? What is public cloud? So all your cloud providers like AWS, Alibaba Cloud, Google Cloud, okay, so Azure, all these are public cloud providers. Okay, okay, clear everyone? Next, hybrid clouds. So next, hybrid clouds. When you go for hybrid clouds, when you go for especially go for hybrid clouds, okay, it is the combination of private and public cloud. It is a combination of private and public cloud, sir. Your data will be resided in a private cloud. Your services will be running on the public cloud. Anyone can access. Okay, so they will make, okay, services, uh, applications on the public cloud so that everyone can access, so that they can earn amount, right? See, technically, okay, when you go for hybrid clouds, your organization will become the brokers. Your organization will become the brokers. They are selling the applications so that everyone can see, so that they will can earn the amount. Finally, sir, if you are designing one product, you need to keep it public, right, so that everyone can see, everyone can download, everyone can use, so that you can get some amount. Yes or no? Online people?
Yes.
Yes. So hybrid is nothing but a combination of public and private. A combination of public and private clouds, sir. And so, what is the difference between private and public? Sir, in private, it may take long time to perform anything, sir, because you need to request, your request need to approval. Once it is approval, manual allocation and manual installation, and it yet to be complete. So, because when you go for private, again, a lot of manual, okay, so steps you need to perform. But when you go for public, request, provision, implement, complete. So within fraction of minutes, within fraction of some times, okay, your services, your applications will comes into the online. You can access, you can deploy, you can do whatever. When you go for public cloud, not like a private cloud. Private cloud is having so many restrictions. Sir, assume you are on-prem lovers, right? Being couple of years you are working in on-premises. Okay, now tell me, if you wanted to build one server, how many days usually they will take it? Usually, how many days they will take it? Online people, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Usually, how many days it will take? Okay, so it may take 1 or 2 days. Okay, now when you go for public cloud, it may just take the, okay, within a 1 hour or within a 2 hours you need to provision, right? So provision implementation is very easy, sir. You need to write a request, that request here also bit approval, but provision implementation is much faster when you compare with the private cloud. When you compare with the private cloud, provision and implementation is much faster when you go for in public cloud. Okay. Okay, let me show you, sir, a better video to get a clarification about the same. Let me go this one. Okay, 1 second, sir. Please let me know once you are able to listen.
Let's talk
Everyone able to
clouds.
listen?
No, not those clouds.
Online people?
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Okay.
no.
No, 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 no. I'm just passed.
Let's talk clouds.
Okay, 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 okay.
No, not those clouds. I'm talking about cloud computing. Like, what are clouds? What makes them better than computing BC? That's before clouds. What are the major types of clouds? And how might you best use each type based.
See, private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is a combination of public and private cloud. Yeah, all the clouds are data centers. For your understanding, a cloud is nothing but a data center. Okay.
Or multiple data centers made up of compute and storage resources connected by a network. But what makes a data center a cloud is that all of those resources are virtualized into one big giant shared pool of resources, which can be intelligently and automatically orchestrated. And that means it can adapt to meet the ever-changing needs of your apps and the ever-changing utilization and availability of each resource. And that's why clouds are awesome. Today's clouds are smart, automated, and adaptive. Apps can be deployed far more quickly without custom provisioning boxes. And once deployed, those apps can dynamically scale on demand. Resource issues like congestion or failure can be resolved automatically. Quite simply, clouds can be more efficient and cost-effective than traditional data centers. So let's take a closer look at each type of cloud and which type might be the best for your needs. We'll start with public clouds. They're what most people think of when they talk about the cloud. What makes them public is that they are hosted by a cloud service provider who rents space on the cloud to their many customers or tenants. Those tenants generally only pay for services they actually use, much like how we consume electricity as a service for our energy needs. Public clouds let you offload management where you don't mind giving up some control. That's why they're a popular choice for hosting everyday apps like email, customer relationship management, HR, and other business support apps. Private clouds are next. They're private because they only have one tenant. You get all the goodness of a cloud, but you can control and customize it to fit your needs. And that control is why many companies are migrating their data centers to private clouds to run core business apps that provide unique competitive advantages like research, manufacturing, supply chain management, and more. Finally, there are hybrid cloud environments. They're hybrid because they're a combo of both public and private clouds. You get all the benefits of both and more, like the ability to create new, innovative apps with uncertain demands. Apps you can deploy on your private cloud, which can burst to the public cloud during demand spikes. So there you go. Just remember, there are several types of clouds, and businesses are tending to use each type of cloud based on their service delivery needs. But we've obviously only scratched the
Okay. So got you everyone.
Yeah. So, Sainath, what are the example of hybrid cloud?
Sorry.
What are the example of hybrid cloud?
Take your Gmail is also example, right? Where your data is maintaining. Assume you are creating one Gmail account. Where is your credentials are maintaining? Where your login and where your passwords are maintaining. So they are going to maintain in the private only, right? Yes or no? Your login when you go for Teams, when you go for Salesforce, when you go for Teams. So everything, see, your logins, your passwords, they will maintain in the private. Your application is
Okay,
only
okay,
on the public.
okay,
Your
okay, okay.
data
Got
will
you,
be
got you.
more
Thank you.
secure and your application will convert into the public. Okay,
Yes,
but
yes, yes, yes,
actually your application in the private only.
yes, yes, yeah, I got you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. So as you know, okay, public, private, and hybrid clouds. Okay. Is there any other deployment models are available? Only public, private, hybrid. So there will be compute. Okay. So community cloud. So you know about the stock market. Everyone know about the stock market, right? So there will be community stocks where a couple of peoples will come together and they will purchase some stocks and they will sell the stocks, right? Yes or no? Like same here also a couple of organization will come together and they will deploy the services and they will sell the services. That is technically like a community cloud. Community cloud. Okay. So not only public, private, hybrid, there is a community cloud. And okay, is there any other deployment models are available, Subbu? Yes. What is? Green cloud. Green cloud. Green cloud. So like when you go to the where I want to say, so when you go to some parks and everywhere, right, the very nothing but the greenery. No, it's very clean and neat, right? Some places when you go and visit, like same, what is a green cloud means? No wastage of resources. When you specially going for green cloud means no wastage of any resources. How much you wanted to use, you will purchase only that from the cloud provider. That technically we are calling it as a green clouds. That technically we are calling it as a green clouds, sir. No wastage of any resources. Okay, like CPU or memory or IO or network, no wastage. So how much you wanted to use, you can purchase only that much when you go for the green cloud. Okay, when you go for the green cloud. Next, is there any other? Yes, quantum cloud. Quantum clouds, the next generation, maybe you can see quantum clouds. So quantum clouds is nothing but massive storage. Quantum, massive storage, sir. If your application want massive storage, instead of going for all this, where we can directly go for the quantum cloud. Quantum cloud deployment. Okay, quantum cloud deployment. When your server capacity is massive, you can go for the quantum cloud. See, again, how it is working, so we are not sure, sir. But whenever you are trying to interact with your vendors, your providers, either Azure or AWS or Google Cloud, okay, they know very well how they design the infrastructure, how they are going to maintain the data center. Everything they will explain you clearly to your application team. So one is green cloud, community cloud, quantum cloud, and one more is government cloud. Government cloud, sir. So means whenever you wanted to host your government related application, that should not move anywhere out of your region. Means all your government applications, government data must and should be within the your region. It should not move outside the region, sir. That level of government applications can be maintained in the government cloud. More secured, more secured when you go for government cloud. So apart from public, private, okay, hybrid, so there is a community cloud, there is a green cloud, there is quantum cloud, there is government cloud. Okay, not okay, online people. So that's what I wanted to share with the deployment models. Now let me go for service model. Before I go to the service model, okay, let me discuss on-prem. Okay, let me discuss on-prem, then I can go for the what are the service models are available when you go for cloud. Okay, so in on-premises, network, storage, servers, virtualizations, OS, middleware, runtime, data, application, everything is you need to maintain. You need to maintain, sir. Everything is under our control. We need to maintain, we need to monitor, we need to fix any issues, something goes wrong. When you go for on premises, when you go for on premises, everything under our control. Network, storage, servers, virtualizations, OS, middleware, runtime, data, applications, everything under our control. But when you go for cloud, when you go for cloud, when you go for specially for infrastructure as a service, when you go to the cloud, when you go for IaaS, infrastructure as a service, okay, infrastructure as a service, okay, so network, storage, servers, virtualizations will be maintained by your cloud provider. You no need to maintain the virtualization. You no need to maintain the servers. You no need to maintain the storage. You no need to maintain the networks. Everything will be maintained by your cloud provider. Example, what are the examples, sir? So virtual machines, okay, storage, storage means storage account or storage, okay, and network means here technically we can call it as a virtual network, sir. In Azure you can call it as a virtual networks. In Azure we will call it as a virtual networks, virtual machines, storage account, storage account. In AWS Sir, I will compare all the services, sir. In AWS, you will call it as a EC2 instance, like when you go for servers level, VPC when you go for network, and S3 bucket when you go for storage account. Okay, especially when you go for infrastructure as a service. Okay, these three services are completely managed, maintained. Everything will be taken care by your cloud provider. On top of virtualization, you can choose whatever your operating system, whatever your middleware, whatever your runtime, your data, and your application. Getting my point? All people, what is infrastructure as a service? All people, are you there?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so thus these three services are mainly comes into the infrastructure as a service. So when you go to the PaaS, platform as a service, network, storage, servers, virtualizations, OS, middleware, runtime, everything will be maintained by your cloud provider. Means you don't have access or you don't have any control your operating system. Infrastructure, I don't want to worry about my infrastructure. I wanted to focus only on the data and database, only on my application and data. What is your application? SQL Server is application. Okay, SQL Server is application. Azure Cosmos DB is application. Azure Synapse is application. Okay, Azure Data Factory is a PaaS environment. Azure Active Directory is a PaaS environment. Lot many services, sir. I don't want to keep my head in infrastructure. I wanted to just focus on my application and data. Then you can go for the platform as a service. Azure SQL database is a platform as a service. Azure MI is a platform as a service. Okay, let me I will open Notepad, sir. Okay, so when you specially go for, let me increase the font size first. Okay, make it as a 26. Okay, so when you go for IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Okay, virtual machines, virtual network. Okay, storage account. These three services are belong to the IaaS. Mostly these three services, okay, or belongs to the IaaS, infrastructure as a service. When you go to the PaaS, platform as a service, okay, Azure SQL database, Azure MI, Azure MI, okay, Azure Active Directory, Azure AD, lot many, or the platform as a service. Means you don't have any control on your operating system. Means you cannot authenticate to the operating system. Just you will deploy the application and you will monitor the application. Everything, your infrastructure, storage, everything will be maintained by your cloud provider. Your cloud provider. When you go to the last but not least, when you go to the SaaS, software as a service, everything will be maintained by your cloud provider. Nothing, sir. Everything will be maintained by your cloud provider when you go for software as a service. So, what are the services will come into the software as a service? You will have one question. What are the services will come to the software as a service? SaaS, software as a service. Okay, Teams is a software as a service, sir. Okay, Salesforce. Salesforce is a software as a service. Salesforce is a service, is a software as a service. Okay, Teams is a software as a lot many, sir. Lot many. Okay, so you don't have, see, for example, I don't want to control my operating system. I don't want to monitor my operating system. I don't want to worry about operating system. I want to just focus on my application and data. Then go for PaaS or SaaS. So this is how they will choose. If I wanted to, if I wanted to have the control on my operating system, then you can go for IaaS. When you go for IaaS, your virtual machines, your network, your storage accounts will be maintained by your Microsoft. You are going to just use as a service. Clear? Not clear, sir? Online people. Are you there?
Yes, yes, clear, clear.
Yes. Okay. Only three service models are available, or any other service models are available. Okay. Now, let me explain you some other models, sir. Okay. Now, one is DB as a service. Okay. Either you can call these services as a platform as a service, or you can call it as a DB as a service, sir. Database as a service. So you can call it as a platform as a service, or you can call it as a database as a service. Okay, because all these are databases, right, sir? So you can call it as a database as a service as well. Okay, DB as a service, database as a service. Okay, now DR as a service. One more service model is DR as a service, disaster recovery as a service. So there is a service, recovery vault, recovery vault. So this recovery vault will comes into the disaster recovery as a service. Means it is going to completely take the backup of your VM. It will take complete your backup of your VM. If something happened to your virtual machine, you can take the snapshot from the recovery vault. You can restore it, okay, from the recovery vault. So DR as a service, disaster recovery as a service, where Microsoft is providing a recovery vault is a service, sir, which will satisfy DR as a service. Are you getting everyone? Anil, Sohel, Ganesh, Chaitanya. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Next. Okay. So IaaS. No, IaaS. Okay. IaaS. Infrastructure as a code. Okay. Infrastructure as a code, sir. Infrastructure as a code like Python, YAML. Okay. Shell script, sir. R language, Ruby. So lot many. So this all will comes into the infrastructure as a code. Infrastructure as a code, sir. Python or YAML. Sir, if you wanted to learn Ansible, if you want to learn Python, Puppet, okay, you must and should know YAML program. If you wanted to learn the Docker, so Docker is a container, right? So you can deploy your SQL over the Docker from SQL Server 2019 onwards. If you wanted to learn the Docker, okay, then you must and should know YAML program. Okay, what they will do, right? They will write the image. First they will create the Docker file. That Docker file they will convert into the Docker image. That image they are going to deploy into the form of Docker containers. Okay, so Python, YAML, Shell, or Ruby all will comes into the infrastructure as a code. And last but not least, okay, XAA, yes, XAAS. Anyone, sir, anyone, everyone having internet, right? Go and search what is XAAS. What is XAAS, sir? Anyone go and search in Google and tell me what stands for XAAS. Online people?
Anything as a service.
Yes, anything as a service, sir. Maybe in future, definitely you can see, but I not know much about this service, sir. But I wanted to share this one. It is also one deployment service model. Okay, anything as a service, which the service or belong to? No, I'm not sure. But anything as a service also a service model. Okay, these many service models are available. IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, DB as a service, DR as a service, IaaC, and XaaS as a service models. Better idea? What are the service models, sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay. In AWS, sir, especially when you are discussing in AWS, you will call it as a EC2 instance, comma, VPC, comma, okay, VPC, comma, S3 buckets. You will call it as a. In AWS, PaaS is nothing but where you can call it as a RDS, a relational database service. SaaS you can call it as a What is the service? One second, I'm not recalling. Yeah, AWS Lambda is a service, sir. Is a SaaS service. Okay, AWS Lambda, very interesting feature. Lambda is okay. If you wanted to make some automation, you can perform the automation using Lambda. Okay, so this all will comes into the in AWS. Lambda, RDS, EC2, VPC, S3 buckets. Yes, sir. So that's what. And okay, so now what is the difference between your traditional on-premises versus cloud computing? Okay, your traditional on-premises versus cloud computing. Okay, so buying a car is nothing but your on-premises, sir. Buying a car, best example, sir. If you understood this one, that is the only one difference you will see between on-prem and cloud. Buying a car is nothing but your on-premises. So money is upfront. That is up to your friends, sir. Money. Okay, road tax, ownership, maintenance costs, insurance costs, driver costs, optional. Okay, fuel costs, repair, everything you need to take in care when you go for traditional computing. Everything is under our control. You need to pay. You need to bear. Everything by you need to, sir. But when you go for rental, okay, so money as per usage, that is cloud computing, sir. As how much services you are using, you need to pay only for that one. No other charges. What is no other charges? Road tax you are paying, sir. Sorry, whenever you are booking Ola and Uber, you are paying road tax, fuel cost,
No.
repair cost. No, everything they will take in care. Okay, so you can upgrade the car type. You can go for dedicated. You can go for share, sir. Uber pools. Okay, Ola share costs. Okay, so affordable memory, sorry, not memory, money. Okay, everything is under our control here also, but with low, no need to pay any additional charges, sir. Only how much you are using, you need to pay only for that. You need to pay only for that, sir. Clear? Not clear? Any questions?
Clear. It's clear.
Okay, let me go for so yeah. So this is one site where you can verify a complete about your certifications. Okay. So let me ping you this site. Okay. Just copy it and keep it in somewhere. Okay. Yeah. So this is the site completely. You can get some decent info about your Azure, sir. Okay. So how Microsoft is going to maintain the certificates. Okay. See your Azure administrator certificate is AZ104. Azure developer certificate is AZ204. Azure IoT developer is AZ220. Okay, lot many. So lot many. So if you wanted to get the lot many certificates related information, you will get all the information from here itself. Okay, as we are Microsoft SQL Server, we are going to do DP300, and you are also eligible to do the AZ900. Is the basic fundamental certificate, sir. A basic fundamental certificate. Okay. Now he completely redesigned. Yes. Earlier we are able to see the map here. Okay, that is the one thing I wanted to share with you. And well, sure. Yeah. So okay. So now see. So these many regions where you can see Microsoft Azure data centers. around approximately 60 regions where Microsoft is having its own data centers. When, as we are in India, so when you go for India, okay, so if you are going in India, earlier there are only 3 data centers. Now they are going to place one more data center near Delhi. Okay, so earlier we have only 3 data centers. One is in Chennai, one is in Bangalore, one is in Pune. Sorry, Chennai. No, 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 no. Okay, so they're making in Bangalore. Okay, yeah. Okay, so they are making one more data center. And earlier we have only 3 data centers. Okay, in India, when you go for AWS, only 2 data centers are. One is Pune, one is Mumbai. One is Pune, one is Mumbai are in AWS. When you go for Azure, we have 3 data centers. Now they are going to place one more data center in Delhi. So completely 4 data centers are available in India itself. When you go for US, lot many, sir. Lot many data centers when you go for US. Okay, so Washington, Virginia, New York, New Jersey, sorry. Okay, so lot many data centers are available in US as well. Okay, not okay. And that is what, as part of today, I wanted to show you. Tomorrow I will walk through the portal, sir. Tomorrow, this is how your Azure portal looks like. Okay, so once you connect to the Azure portal, so this is how your Azure portal looks like. Tomorrow I will try to walk through the portal completely. Okay, so any questions before we stop the session? Any questions?
No, sir, nothing.
Okay, so let me stop it.